The best skill that I have developed is the skill of noticing and understanding that nothing is done by one individual. No level of success is reached by one person, right? Like there is a team effort that goes into the smallest moment of success to the largest.
Yeah.
And the person that wants the rewards and the accolades for it all, and that doesn't embrace the world of team and the foundation that stands underneath whatever that thing is a person that won't last long. The thing that I am most thankful for, and the thing that I'm glad that it has just improved over the course of time, is the world of inclusion with the we. There's no I. And I hope that that's what I'm passing down to my kids, is that, you know, nothing is given, everything is earned. And for things to be earned correctly, you know, you have to surround yourself with people that you can not only earn with, but that will support and embrace along the way, right? I have an amazing team. I hope that my team grows to be the stars of tomorrow. From execs to creatives to talent to writers, producers, directors, everybody that's underneath this umbrella of Heartbeat Ventures, of the brands and the brand partnerships and the space of entertainment and this ecosystem within media that we've created. We flourish because they flourish. And knowing that, identifying that, and trying my best to support that, that's the thing that I have had to work on. And when we talk about monsters, Jay, there was a I monster.
Yeah.
There was a I need to do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make the call.
Me first as well.
No. Everybody move. Watch out. I'm gonna show y'all how to do it. I'm gonna take the meeting. We're not listening to that. We're gonna do it my way. There was this heavy thing of me, I. Get out the way, Kevin. Get out the way and let other people be great. They're only going to make this thing greater. You're prohibiting that by trying to stand in a moment of great so that people can look and point at you. Let other people do the thing that they were brought here to do. And while they do it, align yourself with them, embrace them, support them. And as they grow, we grow.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I flourish in the most, which is why the first thing that I asked you,
yeah.
Think about it. The first thing that I asked you when we're here and we're setting up, I said, how long have you guys been together?
Yeah.
That's just me asking because I want to see what the world of your team is.
Yes,
and when you say what you say, well, there's no coincidence that the level of success comes with a relationship that's evolved from day to said date.
Yes.
It comes with an understanding. It comes with a level of community. More importantly, a want for success, but we have it together because we're embracing the world. It's not just one.
I love that you went there, man. Like that, there could have been so many ways to answer that question. And the fact that you brought it back to being bigger than you, I mean, that mindset is everything, but it's so easily missed because we grow up in a dog-eat-dog society. We grow up in a you versus me. I feel like when I speak to people in the entertainment industry as well, for years, especially if you were a minority or a person of color, you were put against the only other person of color.
Absolutely.
And so it's like there can be only one person of color comedian. There can only be one person of color actor, right? Like it's all divided.
I just talked about this. I just talked about this. It was,
oh wow.
It's, you know, Dave, Chris, myself, we're very close.
Yeah.
And
I love seeing that. That makes me happy. Yeah.
The reason why we're so close is because, you know, there is no competition. We're not competing with one another. And, you know, we all have different level of success that makes sense for us, right? Like one success has nothing to do with the other.
Yeah.
And the support, the love that we give each other, that we embrace each other with, it's all done with the understanding that we can all exist at the same time.
Yeah.
And the conversation of there can only be one is one that we've created as a culture. Like, you know, we really do pit our own against our own, right? We really have done it throughout the time. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with competition. There's nothing wrong
Absolutely.
with wanting to be the best. There's nothing wrong with that conversation. But it's a conversation that can be had and should be had without the malicious intent behind it, right? Because ultimately, success is success, and that's what you're in the game for.
Yeah.
To have some type of level of success that checks the box for you.
Yeah.
And once again, if you get to looking across the street and you're looking at what the others are doing over there, well, you're missing what you've done over here. And it's something that I think over the course of time has developed. It didn't start off like this. I definitely was, once again, in being transparent, I was a young comic that was like, man, when am I going to get my turn?
Yeah.
I'm funny. I'm funnier than. I need it. I don't understand. Oh my God, nobody wants. Like, you do go through that. Mm-hmm. And rightfully so. There's frustration in not knowing or not understanding why my opportunity hasn't or isn't. There's frustration in that. Mm-hmm. But there's also a sense of calm that comes in confidence of knowing that you're putting the work in for a reason and that it will pay off.
Yeah.
And I had to make that change.
Yeah.
I had to make the change of saying, I'm doing the work. Am I showing up every day and am I prepared? And if this opportunity does come, am I ready for it? Because there's nothing worse than it comes and I don't have a set. I don't have a tight 5 minutes. I don't have a tight 10. I didn't have a 25-minute set. Oh my God, they wanted clean material. I didn't have no clean material. There's nothing worse than not being ready.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do the work and make sure I'm ready. Let me go take these acting classes before I even got an acting role. I'm sitting in damn acting classes. I'm spending the little bit of money I got doing one-on-one sessions because I wasn't comfortable being in the class. I had to get the space of comfort. I don't have any roles. I didn't have any auditions yet. I'm doing the work so that when I get there, I don't have to go backwards and do it. I trust your level of understanding, opinion, and story in the highest regard, that even though we don't share the same love for genre material, whatever you want to call it, right? Like whether it's sci-fi to drama to action, like these are all, like you said, different people. But story, character. I trust that you'll be able to watch my project, tell me if my characters are easy to track and if you care. And if you don't care, I also trust that you'll be able to tell me why you felt you didn't. I also feel that in the space of solution, you're not going to throw things at me that are not doable. You're going to know the context of what I have that I'm working with, what's left on the cutting room floor, what I can possibly do to do reshoots. Everything that you're going to tell me is within regards of having my best interests. That's confidence. That's also a strong relationship and a friendship that along the journey of success, as we've all gotten to the top of this mountain, we understand that your stance on your mountain has nothing to do with mine. Dave Chappelle has made me and Chris Rock feel stupid at times when it comes to our choice of material. We have watched Dave in our earlier stages of just working on our set, and we would spend time at the cellar, and one would come and we would all go, and Dave would go up, and me and Chris had just went up, and we're happy about our material. We're giving each other notes. We watch Dave. There's been times where we have looked at each other and we balled our papers up and said, we got to start over. We got to start over.
Yeah.
Not because of jealousy or envy, no, because we challenge each other, and we spark and amp the world of, like, we want the best for not only each other but for ourselves.
Yeah.
And you inspire me and you encourage me. And I love the rapport that we have because we do exactly the same thing. Yeah, I think my hour's ready. I want you to come see me, Chris. Tell me what you think.
Yeah.
Kev, I like it, but I still think you can. Kev, come see me. I'm doing 1 hour and 40 right now. Hour and 40?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me what you think. I'm probably going to trim 20 out of it. I like where it is. All right, I'm coming. Dave, what's up? Come to Ohio. You going to like what I'm working on. I want your eyes. All right. Like this, that's a strong relationship, and it's one that I embrace. And I celebrate it often, man. I celebrate it often. I think it's very important for people to see other entertainers at this level just simply celebrate each other's success. I love it. Whether it's rappers, singers, actors, actresses, comedians, writers, directors, whoever. I love to see a room where people are in it and they're celebrating one another. We're all a part of a fraternity. And, if we treat it right, that fraternity will have an amazing stance forever.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you don't want to attach bad stories to it if we don't have to.
Yeah. And I think that's the most inspiring thing for the kids, because when I think about younger generations, if you grew up watching your favorite people and you knew they were all friends, how does that change the game now? Because if you're seeing your favorite people fight each other and battle it out for the crown, what are you going to do with the person sitting right next to you at school? And I think I saw that so much growing up, where I've always wanted to connect with people regardless of what we do in this space. But you saw so many people who are coming at it from the perspective of, let's see who does better. Let's see who does more. And again, I love what you said. Competition's not a bad thing. Let's not give it a bad name. But the idea that we've got to be able to hold two truths. We can compete and still be friends. And I think people
still be friends.
Yeah, you have to choose, but you don't.
Still be friends.
Yeah.
There was a time where the USA men's swim team, the Olympic team, this team was just so elite. And this is in Phelps's Phelps was Phelps. A human fish, right? But when you look at Locke and you look at the other men that were competing on that team, and you looked at the world of competition between themselves, those practices were more than just practices. The world of training before the Olympics and the battles that took place in those pools where they got ready and they were by each other's side every single day. When I tell you that atmosphere is one that nobody else can understand except the ones that are competing to be great. By the way, at the end of every practice, they would get out and shake each other's hands without me being there. I'm willing to bet and say, good, when you pushed me today, you kicked my ass today. Hey, tomorrow, man, I'm gonna see if I can lower my time. I'm not happy with my 200. I'll do it with you. I'll push you. Hey, my backstroke is whatever. Hey, you know what? Today, on those 50s, we did the reps. You seemed like you got stronger along the way. Well, I saw you next to me. That motivation that you're pulling from being alongside of somebody that's quote unquote the best or the quote unquote greatest, you're using that as fuel. That's not bad. But not in one interview did you ever see them have any type of rapport that looked as if there was animosity or anger towards one's success. The happiest people for Michael Phelps were the people on his team. The happiest people were the people that got the silver, that were on his team.
Yeah.
That to me, that's the mold in the making of real champions, right?
Yeah.
That's the mold in the making. Like if you're in it and you have said, this is what I'm destined to do and I'm going to give my all, and every day I show up with 100%, regardless of the outcome, I'm showing up with 100%. That day going to come. Whenever it comes, I'm going to be ready. It's going to come. I'm going to get my just due and my fulfilling like need and energy and want for knowing that I have just delivered for myself. That's what I compete with. That's why I look at the mirror.
Yeah.
Sometimes I let myself down because the thing that I'm trying to do, I should know I can't redo.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm chasing the thing that can't be redone again. Sometimes the lightning in the bottle strikes once, you're not going to get that again. So there's times when I'm so hard on myself that I miss the moments of success that I should realize that I'm having.
Yeah.
That I'm chasing this thing.
Yeah.
There's a time where I was doing 2 shows in arenas a night. 4 shows in the city in arenas. As a comedian. Go back on tour, the next one, I only do 2 shows. Oh my God, I'm falling off. What's happening? No. Sold out 6, 7 shows in Madison Square Garden. What? I feel bad because I didn't do it again. That ain't gonna happen again. That was lightning in the bottle. You got to get to a place of understanding and realization. But once again, it's the monsters, man.
Yeah, it's the monsters. It's
the monsters.
Yeah, you talk about this in the audiobook, and I loved it. It was all about the addiction to number one.
Yes.
It's this idea, and you'll love this. There was a study that I saw that said, because you brought up the Olympics, it sparked my brain. There's a study that I saw that said people who win bronze are happier than people who win silver. because the people who came second were this close to first.
Oh my God, yeah.
But the person who came third, they were happy. They were like, we weren't going to get first, but we got in. We got on the podium.
Yeah.
And it's that podium syndrome of like, at least we got on. But the person in silver, they are mad at themselves because they didn't get number one.
Yeah.
And so that addiction to number one is so strong.
It's a bigger addiction when there's multiple versions of it. I'm guilty of the multiple, like, okay, I need it. Got a movie coming out. A movie going to the box, so I need it. I need number one. I don't get number one, I'm gonna fail. Like, it failed. We flopped. I don't get number one, it was flop. It's a flop. I gotta get number one.
Yeah, it's
like,
or a flop.
It's flop. It's like there's no in between. It's one or a flop. Like, I've always got number one. It's gotta be number one. And what happens is you're so unrealistic in expectations that you're missing real success. Now, I've been fortunate and blessed enough to have a ton of them, but I got to a place where the win was attached to the project. The win was attached to me finishing a movie and being happy about the movie that I did. Union workers are happy, and a director coming out with the finished piece of the product going, you're gonna like this, and we see it and we actually like it, and then we screen it for fans, and fans go, we loved. That's the win. That's the win. This other thing that I'm trying to control, Kev, stop. You can't control that. And if you keep on going in the direction that you're going in, if and when that thing changes, you're gonna be so hurt that the world of recovery might not be easy for you. Your logic and what you're now deeming as like reality for you, it's not reality. And if you don't grasp the real concept of what it should be now, it doesn't mean that you're saying that you are ready to fail. It's saying be prepared for the world of real to present itself at any point in time. Don't get caught up in the world of fake. And me acting as if I control these numbers, as if I can navigate and direct and make it happen when and how I want all the time, I'm setting myself up. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna check myself now. Let me balance it out now.
Huge.
What are you doing? I love what I do. All right, well then let's be happy in what we do. I talked to David Letterman on my comedy podcast, Comedy Gold Mines. And Letterman said he was so dark at one point because all he did was show up and he looked at the numbers between him and the other shows every day. Oh my
God, that's painful.
Every day.
Like Instagram numbers.
He said every day I got there and I looked at it and I would, my team, you were not working hard enough, and I was so hard. He said I was so hard on people. And when you hear him talk, love David. By the way, I don't know the Letterman of old that some people ran into. I know the Letterman of now. And he's so transparent, the information and how he talks and what he's overcome. His stories were just, it was so good to hear. Because when you hear people that are openly telling you, you can't do this, you can't operate like this, because it eats away at you. It eats away. It made me realize I did go through a piece of that. I just was able to catch mine early.
And in the worry of like, we might fail, we risk being open to being broken, right? Like that's the risk. Like you don't want to go down, but you don't realize that if you're not prepared for that down, the down's going to be far worse.
It's going to be far worse, man. We have had a live example of a lot of those downs, right? Like in real time, we're watching, I call it The Truman Show. And for everybody listening to your podcast, if you're not familiar with The Truman Show, it's a Jim Carrey movie. But basically, you know, people's lives, it's the movie, right? We're watching real life movies every single day. And you're watching people make mistakes, recover from mistakes, not recover from mistakes, make rights instead of lefts, lefts instead of rights. And seeing that, we choose to ignore it as if it's not real life. We choose to ignore it.
Because it feels like it's TV.
And the biggest drug, it's not cocaine, it's not heroin, it's not Molly or opioids. And the biggest drug is fame.
And now it's more accessible in different doses.
It's the biggest drug. And the reason why it's the biggest drug, because it's a drug that makes you feel like you are powerful, and like everywhere you go, anything you want, everything you want. It's a thing. And if you can't handle this thing, the consequences attached to when that thing is removed are severe. Nobody prepares you for the world of fame. There is no handbook. There is no outline. There is no guide by guide. Step 1 to step 10. There's nothing. You get it, and yesterday you weren't, and today you are.
And tomorrow you're not.
Oh, well, no, we're done. People get shell-shocked. That, to me, has always been the point of no return.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, this can wear off if and when, however sees or decides, and if that were to happen, well, what am I? Where am I? It's all gonna center back to: are you happy with who you are and what you did? Are you at a point where you are okay? Do you know you, and are you okay with you? If you are not, it'll break you.
Your energy is incredible, and just the depth. What I love about this, and this was my vision with the show, and you're helping me achieve that, which I'm very grateful for, is I don't think, and I love that you've been doing this more and more with the Audible, with Heart to Heart, like we're getting to see your depth. We're getting to see the mind behind you. Again, as we said earlier, we like to limit people. We like to limit people into like, you just be a comedian, or you just be a race car driver, or you just be an actor. And it's like, we're starting to realize that, like you said, you're not just watching someone's life on TV. There's a human here. There's a story here, and we're getting that with you. Do you think it was this an epiphany that you had before the accident, or was it that this really, because in your Audible, when you talk about like how when it's just silent, you figure out what really matters. Like when I heard that, I was just thinking like, our near-death experiences, you were told when you came out of it, you should be dead, and you're like, well, I don't remember anything. Does that feel like that was a moment that there is a massive awakening, or were you already kind of working with some of this?
No, I was always a transparent and authentic person, but you definitely change.
That's what,
right? You definitely change. And by the way, still changing. I'm not sitting in
all
front of you, as an unflawed man. Like I am my dad's child, and I'm my mother's child as well. There's nothing more humbling than a quiet room. There's nothing more humbling than the realization of what is really like necessary. What you take for granted and what we don't think twice about is not until that's compromised that the true appreciation for life, I feel like, can sometimes be had. I don't want to speak for everybody, because I think there are some people that truly do get it and that truly do think whatever their space or version of a higher power is daily for life and for what they do. I believe in God, so I'm not as spiritual as some may be, but I'm very thankful for the life that God has allowed me to live and the opportunities that I've been able to embark upon. But I got a lot more appreciation after life was almost gone, right? Like, do you really appreciate your toes? Do you really appreciate your fingers? Like, do you really think about your movement, your joints, vision, smell? Do you really think about how fortunate and lucky you are? It's the only time where I get where I slow up, right? And when I'm slowing up, it's because the reality of that was significant. I really almost died. My kids and all that, like what? As I'm moving so fast, I didn't even have everything dialed up for if said thing were to happen. What? Oh, because I'm out here, I'm just roaming. I'm out here aimlessly living, and I'm moving so fast, I've yet to grasp the true concept and reality of responsibility. Immediately, let me get my responsibilities in order. Because if that had have been, there would have been a lot of people with their hands up as to what, how, when. Fame is great. The lights are great. Kevin Hart, number one. I was in that room with my goddamn wife, my brother, my kids. You look around, You got a lot of friends. You got a lot of people that love you. But then you start to, well, what really matters? That's when my mindset started to change. That's when you go, okay, my approach to just me and working on me, it needs to be different. I've contradicted myself a lot since, I want to slow down. I'm going to make sure I give my family more time. I have. That doesn't mean that there can't be more. The day-to-day battle of, am I giving enough? Guys, you know how much dad loves you. I'm here. I'm always working to make sure I do more. But is it enough? Am I a workaholic? Okay, but that's not a bad thing because you love to work. Yes, you do. That's a passion. You got something that you go after every day. That is a driving source for me. I'm not in the business of letting that go. But, boy, you better put your hands on these people and make sure. You better make sure that you are giving the time that you said you would when you were in that time of solace. Okay, all right. I'm constantly talking to myself. I have these conversations all the time. That's the beauty of taking my little runs, the beauty of working out, being in the gym. You talk to yourself. You better talk to yourself. You better have conversations, figure out a yin and yang of good and bad. For me, it was about personal evolvement after that accident. And still trying, man. It's the biggest battle. It's the biggest battle is just doing right all the time. That's a battle.
And knowing you're going to get it wrong.
That's a battle, man. When I go to a restaurant and they bring out a plate, the waiters say it all the time, don't touch that plate, the plate hot. You know what I do, Jay? You know what I say after I touch it? It wasn't that hot.
Yeah.
They told me not to touch the plate.
Yeah.
He said it's hot.
Yeah.
But I still gotta go and touch the plate anyway. It's a battle. So being okay with understanding that I'm going to lose and win in this battle, and this battle is not over until the day I'm in the ground. Cause you're not gonna get it right.
Nope.
You're not gonna get it right. And there's people with this idea and this mindset and mentality, they're going to get it right and everything's going to be perfect. It's not. Don't play that perfect game because all you will do is get let down because perfection does not exist. I do firmly stand on that and believe that.
Absolutely.
It doesn't exist, man. You should try your hardest to get things right. In moments where you got them wrong, figure out how to never get them wrong again. That's the world of compromise. That's the world of growth. That's the world of evolvement. I mean, I got a teenage daughter. Nobody prepared me for the world of, like you talking about got to get it right. Are we talking enough? Am I loving enough? Am I present? Am I listening? Am I just delegating? Am I parenting? Am I your friend? There's so much.
Yeah, so much.
Teenage son, little ones. I mean, my wife. It's a constant battle of energy. And as a guy who is an output, right? And I don't complain about that output, but those that I'm taking in from, I gotta make sure that I'm receiving that and that I'm not moving too fast. I'm not making the most of those moments. And that's this level of consciousness I did not have before the accident.